You need to be able to come up with things to say on the fly. So this is just a good skill in life to employ when you're talking to a group of people, let's say, and you don't really have the content in your mind purely organized in the perfect fashion. So you kind of just have to substitute the silence with maybe filler words or something like words that just don't have much substance. So um, you might see that I'm actually not prepared whatsoever for this video. I haven't done any scripting at all. I'm purely freestyling it, and it's because I'm coming up with it completely on the fly. And I have to say it's sort of mentally demanding, but it gets a bit easier as you do it more and more. So to be honest with you, I've been doing it for the last couple of videos, and I'm pretty used to it at this point. So it's not much of an issue for me. But when you're, let's say, in a social interaction, and let's say you look as, I don't know, I feel like some people kind of find me in a way a little bit intimidating, not like oh, this guy is so big and scary, more like this guy doesn't talk and he's giving me creepy vibe. I don't know, I just have that kind of aura. um so that means that people like me, which may be you because you're watching these videos, need to just come up with something to say that's not too serious and isn't purely substantial. So I do remember that interview I had with this shop owner, and he asked me what I'd say to a customer if they came, and then I said I'd probably make some passing comment about the weather or something. Also, it's pretty good, isn't it? So yeah, I'd make some comment about the weather, and um, that's not substantial, and it's not really in line with what I represent as a whole. Like I usually just don't like wastage at all. I'm absolutely against like side quests as a whole, side characters, and this is like small talk because it's just saying something extra, a little bit of entertainment for people, but it's also a thing that makes people feel comfortable around you. And if people don't feel comfortable around you, then they're only going to leave. Most people would die at the slightest hint of discomfort, and that's a problem because if they're not comfortable around you, then they're going to try to avoid you as much as possible, and that's not what you want. Trust me, it's not what you want. So yeah, you need to come up with things to say randomly. Just make observations about the environment, and this is very easy to say. You see all those big YouTubers who give out these quick talk tips, and they might say, yeah, just make comment on something in your environment, but you need to actually do this, and you need to get better at this. Getting better at it is literally only achieved by doing it. That goes for basically everything in life. You just need to get better at commenting on things. So um, one might say, yeah, nice chair here. Do appreciate the wood design on it. As you can see, there's a bit of a design on this chair when you go behind the cushion. Something like that, you know. Even now, like you might see in some of my videos, I kind of just pause for a minute and I don't talk. I just let you stare at my blank face on the screen, saying nothing. That's because I'm trying to come up with something to say, and not like I'm trying to be profound or anything. Like, wow, the thing that I said was so insightful that we should just take a minute to think about it. No, not that at all. It's just I literally have to think of something else to say that makes sense, really. And another thing you could do is just knowing how to articulate yourself a bit better. If you don't know how to properly say what you want to say, then people are going to be wondering what you're going to say. Then they're going to ask, sorry, what was that? Then you're going to have to repeat it, which just breaks the flow and momentum of your conversation. And that's not so much bad for the other person, but it's kind of bad for you because it slows you down a bit and it forces your brain to go over the parts of it that were like um, that it's already went over, and then you're going to have to catch back up again to where you were. So it's just it's not an ideal position to be in. And that's kind of what I was doing when I was having the interview yesterday in this toy store. I was kind of just talking and I was saying a lot of stuff, and most of it made sense. To give credit to myself, most of it did actually add up to something. But Another thing I did at one point was I just started a sentence and I had no idea how I was going to end it, but I wanted to keep the manager engaged on what I was saying, and I came up with something then, and it was like at the beginning of that sentence it wasn't very substantial. In the middle it got a bit more, but then by the end I had actually explained a decent amount of stuff, and it turned from insubstantial to substantial. So that's what you got to do. Again, it's just if you say something, you're going to build a momentum and you're going to start the conversation, and it's just going to be better than not saying anything at all, even if what you're saying is utter garbage. As long as you're talking, it's better than not talking. And in the last few days, I've kind of found that as well. If you just talk a bit, then it's better than not talking. I don't really talk when I listen to people. I just say, "Oh, yeah," like in the middle of their sentences when they've said something. I just affirm it because usually I just be like, I just listen because I've read some of those self help books, and what they would just say was be a very good listener, just listen and listen and listen. But those books are geared towards the people who can't shut up, and I know how to shut up. So what a person like me could do with focusing on would be, and you probably would be knowing how to say more and knowing how to fill up the gaps and spaces. Now, if you're with a friend and you know each other, then that's okay. You can have an awkward silence, but otherwise, you don't need to be too crazy on it either. Just kind of knowing when to say something and when not to. If someone expects you to say something, then it's best to say something. If they don't expect you to say something, though, don't be just that awkward person who's like drilling in a new topic every 5 seconds and doesn't know how to do anything. So yeah, don't be awkward. Know how to come up with stuff without having known it before. It's also good when you've gotten used to this because you know what to say and how to say it. You can just kind of repeat stuff that you said in other conversations. It's like recycling your material works just as well when you haven't told the same person already. So yeah, do that.